Good evening, and welcome to our 9 o'clock hour of Nightline with Mary and Toni. We're so glad you joined us here tonight, and I'm looking forward to this night. Just been talking to our guests before we came on the air, and got some good things to tell you. And our topic tonight is actually the Mulligan movie. Now, I don't know a lot about it, but we're going to learn more about it tonight, the Mulligan movie with Tanya Christiansen. And if you know somebody that doesn't have TV at home that gets the Nightline program, tell them they can tune on to Facebook. And if they miss it there that night, they can always join us on YouTube or WGGS or Nightline Live with Mary and Toni.
Right.
How many ways are there to reach?
There's 16.
16 ways to reach Channel 16, so tune in. I'm going to read a little bit to you tonight about the topic of the Mulligan movie. Said after, well, let me get me some glasses just in case. After a successful nationwide theatrical release in April early this year, The Mulligan is now available on demand, digital, and DVD. It's based on the best-selling novel The Mulligan by Ken Blanchard and Wally Armstrong. And the film stars Pat Boone, who also starred in The Journey to the Center of the Earth, Eric Close, he was in Nashville, American Snider, Tanya Christiansen in I Still Believe, and Chairman Lee in Just Mercy.
Well, I'm excited to interview Tanya Christiansen this evening. This movie, it's an inspiring story about relationships, forgiveness, and second chances, which I think is something we can all be encouraged by.
Yes.
Paul McAllister seems to have it all as a successful businessman, but his life starts to fall apart. In this movie, guided by the wisdom and advice of an old golf pro, Paul learns about playing a good game both on and off the golf course. Based on the popular book, The Mulligan is an inspiring movie, and it reminds us that second chances are only one shot away.
Yes.
So we wanted to share with you the trailer of the Mulligan movie so that you can see a little bit into this movie before we begin talking with Tanya Christiansen, our guest tonight. So check this out.
Oh, hey, Paul. I set you up in a Pro-Am charity golf tournament. Heavy hitter coming in from Asia.
Your entire purpose for being there.
Connect us to the $20 billion man.
Money!
Paul McAllister is off to a big start.
Would you have time to talk about some business ideas I have?
Sure. After I meet your family.
About the putter? You're just not good enough to get that mad.
Mom, God's warranty on Dad coming back has expired. I'm moving on. You should too.
You have no idea how much I sacrificed to provide for our family.
Some things aren't worth sacrificing.
Hey, Paul, there is somebody here who I'd love for you to meet. Are you the old pro?
Well, I am old.
When was the last time you drove like this?
20 years ago, I guess. Back when I still had my license.
How do you see yourself?
Not just in golf, but your whole existence, your life.
I have a son who hates me, and my wife and I have been separated for about 5 years.
Sounds like your game could use a mulligan.
Taking a mulligan is cheating. I play by the rules, or I don't play.
$4.5 million to us, a 50% ROI.
Thank you. Thank you.
I can't tell you how much I appreciate you.
Your dad's not going to be able to make
Mom,
it's not...
okay, I know he's not gonna come.
What kind of God allows his people to suffer so much pain?
Your son has moved in with you. Sometimes God uses seemingly bad things for good.
I'm not sure I like his methods.
It's about believing.
This never was about golf, was it?
I think my work here is done.
Ladies and gentlemen, make your tea time.
Wow, what an incredible trailer. I know that just seems like something that would definitely pull on our heartstrings.
And that was Jensen Franklin at the end there.
Yes,
Hey.
so I wanted, our guest tonight from the movie you saw in the trailer is Tanya Christiansen. I wanted to read a little bit about her. She is a Tennessee native who began her acting career on stage doing local theater. She turned this passion into a profession, and she went to, she graduated from the University of Tennessee. Her first job on air was hosting a home shopping channel. Mom, maybe you've seen her.
Could have.
You used to watch some of those and buy some things. So she went on and transitioned into the acting world, and this is where she started her career in film and TV. The projects include I Still Believe, First Lady, and The Hate You Give. Tanya resides in Florida with her husband and 2 children and travels wherever her job takes her. When she's not at home with her family or on the road working, she has hobbies which include refinishing furniture, which that is something I've never gotten my hand on. Many outdoor activities, including running and paddleboarding and hiking. So that already sounds like that we would have some things in common. And I just want to welcome Tanya here tonight. So let's give her a hand. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you, Toni and Mary, for having me. It's my pleasure.
Well, I've been excited to talk to you about this movie. Why don't you just tell us a little bit about this new film, The Mulligan?
Well, it is an amazing film, and really the title says it all. Now, I'm not a golf person, so I had to ask my husband. I was like, what does that term mean? I really didn't know. And the mulligan just simply means a do-over or a second chance. Not used professionally in the world of golf, but whenever you're with some guys and some friends, you're allowed to ask for a mulligan. And what they've done is they've taken this movie, and it kind of centers around golf. There are a lot of formalities in the world of golf, and so they've centered it around that, and they just really talk about the way that if we ask for a second chance, if we get on our knees and we pray and we truly mean it and we ask for that second chance or that do-over, that we can be given that. And I play Rebecca McAllister, who is the wife of Paul McAllister, played by Eric Close. And I know you've all probably heard his name or seen his face before because he's been in so much. And he was such a joy to work with. And of course, Pat Boone as well plays the old pro. And that man is a legend. So it's such a beautiful movie. Yes.
Well, what actually drew you to the film after you read the script?
It's funny, when I first was told about the movie, and in my world, a lot of times sometimes you get to read the script and then you decide if you want to do it. And sometimes they say, here are some audition sides, audition for it and we'll see how it goes. And that's what I did. I had 4 scenes I auditioned for, and I was told it was a faith-based movie, and I really love that. So that's kind of my favorite genre. I love comedy, I love faith-based, and sometimes you can intermingle the two. And this is not a comedy, it's just a beautiful film, but those are my 2 favorite things to do. And I read the sides, and I liked what I was reading. I actually felt drawn to it because Rebecca is a strong woman. She's a mother, but she has challenges. I mean, on the outside, everything might look good, but really on the inside, she was really hurting. And I just loved that. When I finally got my hands on the script, I read it maybe 3 times just to really dive into it. And it just really resonated with me. And I think that everyone who sees this movie, there is a character in this film that every single person will be able to relate to, whether it's a son or a daughter, a child that is pulled away from a parent, maybe from some trauma, or maybe an estrangement in a marriage. Maybe perhaps you're working too much and you kind of lose sight of what's really important in life, which is your family, your children, your wife. Or maybe it's just workplace in general. Charmin Lee plays a beautiful role where she helps guide Paul through his work adventures, and she's finally recognized. So I think there's something in this movie for everybody that you can relate to.
Well, what are some of your favorite scenes in the movie, and why are they your favorite?
Let's see. When my personal favorite scene that I was in, I love the last scene. There's the penultimate scene that I'm in, I guess you could say, that where I'm with Paul McAllister, and he says to me, will you take a walk with me? And I'm thinking, okay, I'll take a walk with you. And it's just a beautiful scene, maybe 5 minutes long. And it really, I think, wraps the movie up in a big, beautiful bow. And that was one of my favorite films for me to shoot. And then there are so many when I'm watching it. I have so many scenes that I love with Pat Boone when he sits back and he's like, this is our cathedral, you know, and there's a drone shot that pulls back and the scenery is beautiful. We shot the film in Toccoa, Georgia, which is about, I think, about an hour and a half outside of Atlanta, Georgia, in the mountains. It's picturesque. So at the Curry Club, it's a country club with golf and rolling hills. So I think that Toccoa is also a character in the scene because it's just, there's so much beauty there. So there are a lot of little special scenes that resonate with me that I really love.
I knew that it was filmed close by because I would say about a year ago, I actually got something in the mail about the movie. And I thought, oh my goodness, this, like, it wasn't even related to Nightline. And it was sent to my church, and I work at my church as well. And so I thought, oh, we have to have someone from this cast on Nightline. And I emailed and reached out, and I had never heard anything back. And then it was just awesome how we were contacted to be able to have you on with us tonight. So it worked out perfect. I knew that it was filmed close by. I wanted to ask you, though, how does the story of second chances resonate with you personally?
Well, as so many ways, as we were talking before, you know, we are very, very similar in the fact that we are, you know, we both have children. They have very similar ages. And I think a lot of times, I do anyway, I'll second guess myself. You know, I have a daughter that just turned 20 and a son that's just entering high school. So I've got these teens, and I always wonder, am I doing things right? You know, I'm also a wife. Am I doing that right? I'm a mother to parents that are, you know, they're aging. Am I doing that right? Am I being a good mother? And so I think there's always, I have confidence, but there's always doubt with me. And whenever I have doubt, you know, I always just pray about it. I pray on it, pray over it, pray through it. And if I feel that, I try not to have any regret. I try to learn from any mistake that I made, because regret does nothing, right? We can't go back and fix it, but I can pray on it. And I can say, please guide me to be softer next time, be more empathetic next time. And so, or I'll just say, give me a second chance. I messed up. You know, if I could take it back, I would, but I can't. So please allow me to move and grow from this and learn from my mistakes, and forgive me for what I've done if I've hurt anyone. So that's how this movie, it really shows that if we do honestly, truly believe and ask for that second chance, it will be given to us. And we have to quit beating ourselves up over it, right? Not only as people, but as women. I think a lot of times I do anyway. Sometimes I'm too hard on myself, and I need to realize I am a human being and I'm doing my best. And that's all I can do.
I know. I think that we have all probably had setbacks in our life.
Exactly.
To where we can look at it and say, oh, I wish I had a second chance to do that over. But the incredible thing about being a believer and, you know, having Jesus Christ in your life is that is our do-over. That is an opportunity that he gives us to walk in complete forgiveness. For any setbacks, you know, sometimes the setback is because we messed up, or sometimes the setback is because we live in a fallen world and things just happen. So it's just, it's comforting to know that there's a grace that the Lord provides for us to walk through when we have those setbacks. Just watching this film and seeing how the son was injured, you know, I've had times to where my son was injured and I wasn't sure how serious it was going to be, and just knowing like what a mother's heart would feel like watching this character, you know, that you played in the movie, like how must that her heart feel, but then watching the Lord use any circumstance that we go through and turning it around for our good and his glory. And I think that's really what this movie talks about and shows us, is that with Jesus Christ, we can have that second chance and that do-over. We're going to continue talking with Tanya Christiansen from the Mulligan movie. But before then, we're going to have Jackie Christopherson, who is incredible, as we've already seen tonight, leading worship, and she's going to be singing Back to My First Love.
Take me back to my first love, back to where I once was, captured by your amazing grace. At the cross where there's redemption, hope and restoration, and nothing else matters, Lord, but you. Nothing else matters but you. Nothing else, nothing else, nothing else but you, Lord. Take me back to my first love, back to where I once was, captured by your amazing grace. At the cross where there's repentance, a place of true forgiveness, and nothing else matters, Lord, but you. Nothing else matters but you. Take me from glory to glory. Heal me, Lord, and make me. Restore the joy of my salvation. Sing over me a song of heaven. Fresh wind blow, a new wine flow, and fill me up again. Fresh wind blow, new wine flow, make me new again. Fresh wind blow, fresh wind blow, burn fire burn. Oh, we need your love, Lord. Refresh us, Lord, tonight in the river of your love, where it's you and me. Oh, Father, we pray for your presence, refreshing presence. Renew your presence. Take me back to my first love, back to where I once was, captured by your amazing grace. At the cross where there's redemption, hope and restoration, and nothing else matters, Lord, but you. Nothing else matters but you. Nothing else but you, God.
Thank you, Jackie. She's such an incredible, anointed
Yes.
worshiper. If you're just joining us, we are talking with Tanya Christiansen from her role in the new movie, The Mulligan. released earlier this year, so you guys have to definitely check that out. It is on demand and digital DVD. So if you haven't seen it already, definitely after this show tonight, go check it out.
Yes. Tanya, how will audiences and specifically parents find this movie relatable?
I think that the audience, as I had mentioned earlier, I do believe that every single person sitting in the audience will be able to relate with a specific character, whether it's through life experiences or just how you were raised. I think there is going to be a character that you can really, really relate to. Parents, it's perfect because Rebecca McAllister, the character that I play, she's a mother. She's estranged from her husband, and all she really wants is her family back. And it's just such a tender movie where she just wants everything to be back. She wants her family back. And then there's also tragedy within the movie as well, where she doesn't know what's going to happen to her son. He has a horrible accident, and everything's kind of up in the air, and we don't know where that's going to go. And I'm sure if you've ever been a parent and you've seen any type of suffering from your child, you know how that pulls at your heart, whether it's just a little scrape on the knee, it brings tears to our eyes, or really a horrific accident. And so I think that, yes, parents and just the audience in general, the second time I went to see the movie, I had so many people come up to me and they said, "You have no idea how much I needed to hear that story. You have no idea how much Paul's father was like my father." And there's just a little snippet in there that gives the background of why Paul is the way he is, why he's a perfectionist and feels the need to try to succeed, or how everyone perceives you to succeed, just great success. They're like, Paul's father was like my father. He was an extreme alcoholic, and I can relate to this. So just many different stories I had talking to people that came up to me, and I thought, wow, this is going to touch more hearts and lives than I ever really thought when I originally signed on to do the project.
And it sounds like that it's a movie that would be good for anybody to watch, young and old, it doesn't matter. It looks like there's something in it to touch everyone. But what would you hope that people take away from the movie?
I do hope going back to the title, The Mulligan, I do hope that people give themselves a break and allow themselves to breathe and realize that, again, if you have Jesus Christ in your heart, if you are a Christian, if you have forgiveness, if you have to ask for forgiveness, that you can get that mulligan in your life. And a mulligan simply means it means a second chance. Either to do the right thing or that you're given a second chance through Jesus and through God. You are forgiven. You do have that second chance. Not just one time, we're not just allotted one, but over and over. Because again, we're in this flawed world and we are human and we can do the very best that we can. But I think that, we have to realize that we can ask for forgiveness and we are given forgiveness.
Well, we know everybody loves Pat Boone, huh? I remember when I lived in Nashville, he would come in and do some singing there, and one of the nicest guys I had ever met. So kind. Do you have any special memories of being on the set, especially with Pat Boone?
I tell you what, when you watch the movie, or if you haven't yet, there's one tiny little scene in the very beginning. We're together. He pops over my shoulder, and I'm in the film with Pat Boone. Other than that, we don't have any scenes together. But I did live with him for a month. In Toccoa, Georgia, they put us in this beautiful home in the Currahee Country Club. And he was my roommate. He lived across the house from me. So I would hear him singing in the morning. Mm-hmm. Through his door, he had a singing coach, and he still sings. He would pray in the afternoon on the patio with his worn Bible that is just worn and highlighted and earmarked, and love that. And then before his big scenes in the morning, I would get up in the morning and I would make him breakfast, some oatmeal with granola, and he was like, "Well, you're just like a little house mom." And I'd make him cookies because I had a lot of downtime. I have a strong supporting role, but it really is centered around the old pro and Paul McAllister, as you'll see in the movie, and what they go through. But so the days I wasn't filming, I would just kind of make sure that he was taken care of on the way home. He had a little cookie, he had a little nourishment. And I just love that man. And whatever you think about him, like, is he really that great? Is he really that nice of a guy? Hands down, even nicer than you think he is. And he's genuine, and he's amazing. I just love him.
That's awesome. Well, I know that you host on the Home Shopping Network.
I do.
When can we see you on there? And tell us a little bit about what's next for you.
Okay, I do. I'm a guest host at HSN, which is the Home Shopping Network out of St. Pete, Florida. I'm kind of sprinkled in spring and summer, but really I do a lot of work there in the fall and winter because I have a footwear line called Bear Paw Boots. They're yummy and comfortable and warm. So my first kickoff for the fall is September 22nd. I have a big Today special, and we're going to talk about all sorts of boots starting in September, and then you'll see me throughout. And so that's always exciting. Something I do that's fun.
I have a pair of Bear Paws, I just want to say.
Do you?
Yes.
Are they comfy?
They are. They are.
They're so comfy. I wear their slippers. Even in Florida, if you're like, oh, you're in Florida, you don't get to wear those. I wear the slippers 360 days a year. Every day I slide those things on. So I really love what I have to represent, which is good. And then you never know. I mean, I have a lot of auditions that are out. I'm always up to something. The thing is, I auditioned for something back in April. I didn't think I got it. I was like, I guess I didn't get it. And then 3 weeks ago, for 2 weeks now, I got a call, we need you in Atlanta tomorrow. And I was in Pittsburgh, and I said,
wow,
I'll be in Atlanta tomorrow. And it was from something I auditioned for back in April. So there are always holes in the fire. There's always something coming up. But yeah, you can catch me on HSN. And kind of really kicking it up now in the fall and in
That's
the
exciting.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being with us tonight. If you haven't seen the movie, go to the mulliganmovie.com, I believe it is. Check that out. We've been blessed tonight by Tanya Christiansen. And Tanya, we'd love for you to pray over our viewers tonight and just encourage them.
Okay. I want to first of all, thank all of you for having me and for allowing me to be here. I just pray that every single one of you that are able to view the Mulligan movie, whether it's through streaming, whether you go out and buy the film, if you just can see that movie, read the book, that it really hits home to you, that it touches you in a way that you never thought that you needed or felt before. I pray that this movie changes you and just opens up your heart and opens up your mind. And you know, it really just touches your heart, and maybe you can also share the story as well with someone that you feel would need it.
Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us tonight, and we'll see you next week.